Well, good evening and welcome to our Herbal Hour. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about the glandular system. So each time now we're in the systems now, so we'll be going through each one of the systems. If you're new and you missed the previous classes and you want to watch them, you want to watch the recordings, just send me an email and let me know. Okay, and I'm happy to send the recordings out. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, so let me share my screen and get the slideshow going here. And of course, it always wants to put me in presenter view. So let me get out of presenter view. There, perfect. Okay, glandular system. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Brenda Generali. I'm a naturopath, certified comprehensive iridologist instructor for levels 1, 2, 3. I own Joyful Living Services, and we are a sanctioned school. And I'm a nutritional consultant and an herbalist. There's my website, joyfullivingservices.com. And my email, if you want to contact me, iridology@netzero.net. And there are my telephone numbers, office and cell. If you want to contact me on my cell, please send me a text. That's the best for me. And then I'll get back to you. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the glandular system. First of all, thank you for being here. I did change the date to Tuesday, and so we'll be back on Wednesday again next time. This is going to have to wait now to the next class until next month, because for the next couple of weeks after this, I'm going to be traveling in 2 weeks. So I'll be going to the IPA conference down in San Diego. And I'm going to be busy all week. So I won't be available. So we'll have to wait until next month to hit the next system. And we could probably do 2 of them in March. Okay, so here is my disclaimer. Joyful Living Services cannot be held liable for any misuse or malpractice of any techniques taught within this webinar, nor for any injury, suffering, or distress caused by students undertaking the techniques discussed. All students must accept that they are wholly responsible for their actions relating to the practice of herbs and must adhere to the relevant laws in their country and state of residence. Students are responsible for ensuring that they have appropriate insurance for practicing in their country and state of residence. Joyful Living Services cannot be held responsible for any advice given by students to members of the public. Students must adhere to their local laws regarding the requirement for registration and/or qualification as an herbalist before suggesting supplements or offering nutritional advice. Hello, Ben. Nice to have you here. Okay, so here is a nice picture here, the glandular system, and these are the major endocrine glands here: pituitary, thyroid, adrenal, testes, pineal, thymus, pancreas, and ovary. And just know that there's just no way I can put everything in a presentation. So there's a lot of information in here, but not everything, right? And so this goes in and here explains everything, that the glandular nervous systems work intimately together to maintain balance among all the body systems. And together, these systems regulate voluntary and involuntary actions within the body, such as growth, metabolism, digestion, elimination, menstruation, sleep. Okay, these systems also serve as the body's means of communication between cells. Hello, Angela. And the glandular system communicates using chemical messengers called hormones, which stimulate reactions that may last from a few hours to several days. Glandular system concerns include hormone imbalances, weak adrenal glands, thyroid imbalance, diabetes, hypoglycemia, and hyperglycemia, which is very common. Do you have a question, Angela?
No, that was me waving hello back. My apologies.
Hi. Nice that you're here.
Thank you.
I still don't know all the signs on Zoom. Been using the program forever. Okay, so examining the glandular system, you can see everything here on the left side. The hypothalamus has to do with the TRH, the CRH, the GHRH, dopamine, vasopressin, somatostatin, thyroid and parathyroid, your T3 or T4, calcitonin, PTH, the liver, IGF, THPO, adrenals, androgens, glucocorticoid. Go ahead and say that really fast. Glucocorticoids, adrenaline, noradrenaline, the kidneys, and testes, the pineal, the pituitary, the thymus, the stomach, the pancreas, the ovaries, placenta, and uterus. And so I like this diagram because it really shows you, like the pineal, has to do with melatonin, and the stomach, it's got the gastrin and the histamine and so on, the pancreas, insulin, the glucagon. And so, you can relate some of these things. So while the glandular system communicates using hormones, the nervous system uses electrical impulses and chemicals called neurotransmitters. We've heard that word before, right? To relay fast, short-lived messages. And some neurotransmitters, such as noradrenaline, also act as hormones and may be secreted in more than one place throughout the body. So both neurotransmitters and hormones bind to receptor cells to initiate responses. Like I said, there's just so much information out there. There's no way I can put everything in one of these presentations, but you can always, if you're like fascinated by the hypothalamus, you can go online and you can learn. There's lots of information out there. The nervous and glandular systems are linked by the hypothalamus, and that is the control center for the body's emotional and physical responses. It's part of the brainstem, has been found to control hunger, thirst, blood pressure, pain, pleasure, water balance, temperature, sexual desire, hostility, and many other emotions and responses. And as we go through this little herbal hour here, you're gonna, kind of put the pieces together and think of people, that may have trouble controlling their hunger and their thirst, who may have blood pressure, who may be in pain, who may have issues with swelling, who may have problems with temperature or sexual desire or hostility, and so on and so on. And you can kind of relate some of these things to clients or people in your family or people that you know. It's not the only area of the brain that's associated with emotions. Many structures, including the hypothalamus, make up the limbic system. That's an area of the brain that processes feelings and emotions. And before I started this class, I just had a meeting with the lady that we brought in, Michelle Hunt, who does brain spotting. And she was talking about the limbic, right? She was talking about the limbic, and she was talking about trauma and how much trauma there is in the world, and how when we're in trauma, how we turn off certain parts of our brain, right, to deal with these traumas, and how brain spotting opens up those areas so that people can relearn how to deal with those traumas, so that those traumas don't control our life, right? It was very interesting talking to her, and she was talking about the hypothalamus, and so very interesting. Okay, the relationship between the hypothalamus and the pituitary provides the link between the nervous and glandular systems. Pituitary is a small gland located at the base of the brain, okay? And many refer to it as the master gland. Well, in Nature Sunshine, we know about master gland. If for those of you that are Nature Sunshine, or for those of you that are with any other company, there's usually some type of products that works on the glandular system as a whole, right? That works on the master gland, which is the pituitary, because it regulates the release of hormones from most other glands, much like the maestro of the symphony that directs all the musicians to play together to produce harmonious music. It's divided into two lobes, the anterior and posterior. It is a double gland. Some hormones are produced in the hypothalamus and stored in the posterior lobe. Okay, and the hypothalamus also manufactures hormones to stimulate the release of other hormones from the anterior pituitary. And these are called releasing or tropic hormones. So usually, if somebody has glandular issues and I'm going to work with them, then I'm usually going to start with the master gland. Right, I'm going to start with the master gland, work on the pituitary, and then work on the other glands that maybe they're having a problem with the thyroid, or maybe they're having a problem with the pancreas, or maybe they're having a problem with the thymus, or maybe somebody's having irregular periods, or whatever it is. I'm going to work with the master gland, and then on top of that, I'm going to work with the thyroid, or I'm going to, like I said, or work with the other glands. So pinpointing those, and also, dealing with the other parts of the body, because it's not usually just the pituitary that's out of balance, right? A really great way to stimulate the hypothalamus is to get in the sun. It's pretty simple. Just get in the sun 10 minutes every day without a hat. Okay. And the sun will stimulate the hypothalamus, which will then stimulate the pituitary, which will then, go down through the glands and glands. Okay. TSH. Here's the thyroid. And we have T3, T4. Now, when somebody has a blood test, you want to make sure that they have all of the blood tests done. T3, T4, TSH, okay, all of when they're checking the thyroid. Very important. Okay, many glands have a feedback loop that prevents the oversecretion of certain hormones. So the anterior pituitary secretes thyroid stimulating hormone, which is the TSH, and the thyroid subsequently releases thyroxine and if you can say that, thyronin, which are two hormones that trigger an increase in metabolism. So if you have problems, if you have somebody that has a slow metabolism, right? They're talking about, gaining weight, or, they're having problems with certain areas of their body. Okay, these hormones inhibit the release of TSH, so the thyroid will not be stimulated by that anterior pituitary. And here's a really great image here that shows the posterior pituitary and the anterior pituitary. And we have the growth hormone here, prolactin. We have the thyroid stimulating hormone. We have the ACTH, the oxytocin, and mammillary glands, a smooth muscle in the uterus. And here we have the kidney tubules here. So the hormones, the hypothalamus regulates so much, right? The pituitary also produces hormones that it secretes directly into the bloodstream. One of these, which is a growth hormone, is responsible for growth, development, protein synthesis, breakdown of fats, increases in blood sugar levels, right? So how many people do we know that have problems with blood sugar? Yeah. And if you know anybody that has problems with growth. So there was a little boy in Chico that I went to see, and he wasn't growing. He was stunted. He wasn't growing. And his mom, he didn't like school. His mom didn't know what was wrong. They couldn't figure out what was wrong, why he wasn't growing. Of course, so I went out there and did iridology, of course, and looked at his eyes, and he didn't speak English, so we had to work with his mom to figure out what was going on, and how to help him. First of all, his diet was terrible. He only wanted to eat sugar, and so changing his diet, working with some herbs, helping to balance out the glands, right? Others hormones produced by the pituitary and secreted directly into the bloodstream include prolactin, which stimulates milk secretion in females, follicle stimulating hormone, which is FSH, which stimulates the growth of ovarian follicles in females, okay? And the tubules in males, and luteinizing hormone, which is LH, which initiates ovulation during the menstrual cycle. So if you know anybody that is having trouble getting pregnant, right? Anybody that has infertility, the pituitary is the master gland. So anytime you're working with anybody, any hormone imbalances, then you're going to be working with that pituitary. The pineal, it's all about sleep, right? Pineal gland, it's a small gland located in the center of the brain. It's associated with biological responses to light, regulation of the body's circadian rhythms, such as sleep. So if you know anybody that has insomnia, okay, if you know anybody that sleeps with the light on, like my daughter, all right, so exposure to light inhibits the secretion of melatonin. Guess what? Melatonin helps us to balance that circadian rhythm. It helps us to sleep. It helps us to keep things in perspective, okay? So it inhibits the secretion of melatonin, which is the pineal hormone, and darkness stimulates it. So the best thing is to sleep in the dark. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people live in the city. There's big spotlights outside the homes, right? We used to have one in Santa Clara. We had a big, huge spotlight outside, and it was right outside the bedroom, so then you have to buy, they have the drapes that you can buy that block out the light to make your room darker so you can sleep. But then there's also a lot of people that keep their cell phones in their rooms or the computers in their rooms or they have night lights on in their rooms, light is very destructive to the pineals. It's not good. So if you know anybody that's having trouble sleeping, they have insomnia or having trouble sleeping, ask them if they have lights on in their room, if they have lights on outside.
Brenda, can I ask a question?
Sure.
I'm just curious if somebody, it's not necessarily a problem with insomnia, but the problem is that she wakes up relatively every 2 hours or so. So I'm wondering if that would also be effect from the pineal gland.
The pineal gland. Yeah. Yep. You bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there can be other issues as well, right? There's a lot of factors. This is just talking about the pineal gland and the light, but there can be other factors. So if somebody has stress, that's going to wake you up. That can keep you up. Depending on diet, depending on methylation. Methylation will wake you up. There's a lot of things that can wake people up.
I never even heard of that before. What's it called? Methylation?
You never heard of methylation?
No.
Oh, then you need to watch my talk on methylation. Methylation is a fancy word for liver detoxing. I mean, that's the easy way to explain it. So you have two genes, one from mom and one from dad. And these are genes. These are methylation genes. One's for autoimmune, one's for cardio. And so what happens is your liver, your body, your cells methylate all day long. Okay, if you didn't methylate, you wouldn't be here, right? And at around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the middle of the night, when you're supposed to be in your deep sleep, that's when it methylates the most. And a lot of people will wake up at that time, the same time every night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 1 o'clock every night they wake up. And so what we do is we check for MTHFR, we check for methylation defects and see if the enzyme that's supposed to be helping you methylate is functioning properly. And if it's not, then we work with what's called methylation.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And that has nothing to do with like waking up to use the bathroom.
It has nothing to do with
That's
waking
just
up
like
to use the bathroom.
up to wake up.
Yeah, right. Okay, so if you want that presentation, let me know. And it might be on, I think I actually have it linked on the website. If you go to joyfullivingservices.com and go to either About Us or Home, it might be Home. Down at the bottom, there's a link that says videos. Okay, and it may be in there, or no, it's probably not there. It's probably under my iridology videos. Anyway, you can go to courses, go to the iridology videos, and it might be in there. And if you want it, I can send you the link.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
We'll just make it easy. If you want it, I'll send you the link. How's that?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hello, Elizabeth. Nice to see you here. Okay.
I'd like it too, please. Sorry, I would like that link too, please.
Okay, you're going to have to just send me an email. Okay, send me a message. Yeah. All right, let's see, where were we? Secretion of this natural antioxidant peaks around midnight, and it goes down in the morning. So melatonin production decreases with age. Yeah. All right. And, there's a lot of people that take melatonin. There's lots of people that take it to help them sleep, to help them relax, to help them, get to sleep. If you do take it, you want to take it, a half hour before you.
What would they do? Where would you get melatonin?
Where do you get melatonin?
Like, what is it composed of? If it's normally in your body and you're getting a supplement from it, what are some?
There may be plant versions, but glandulars. Yeah, glandulars. Okay. Okay, the thymus gland. Anybody ever heard of the thymus thump? You never heard of thymus thump?
I mean, no.
Okay, so we're all gonna do the thymus thump now.
I've
Okay,
done it.
so right here is your thymus. You're gonna go, okay, so I want to see everybody do Tarzan. Okay, so that's actually really great. So you can do both hands. You want to do it hard enough so that your voice is going, you just stimulated your thymus gland. All right.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, a lot of people think, oh, that's so silly, but you know what? You can do it in the shower, nobody will know you're doing it. Okay. So the thymus gland, it's located behind the other upper part of the breastbone. It produces the hormone thymosin. And I may be pronouncing that wrong. It plays a role in immune response. Okay, so there you go. There's the thymus thump. The thymus thump. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. And it's large in infants, atrophied in adults. It's 2 lobes, and it's targets T lymphocytes, white blood cells, promotes production and maturation of T lymphocytes. So, you know, when we do live blood, when we do live blood and we look on the slides, we take the 1 drop of blood, put it on the slides, we can see the lymphocytes. Yeah, we can see how many there are and what shape they are, and we can watch them moving around. It's pretty amazing. Amazing stuff. Okay, everybody's familiar with the thyroid, right? You guys all know about the thyroid. It's just above the thymus in the neck. It secretes 2 different hormones, thyroxine and triiodothyronin. Sorry, I'm not pronouncing it right. And together they regulate metabolism, growth, and development. Okay, so people that are overweight, people that are underweight, people that have dry skin, people that their hair is very dry, people that are, you know, nervous, you know, there's lots of signs that maybe that could be imbalance there. Calcitonin, another thyroid hormone, regulates blood levels of calcium, okay, preventing excess amounts from being released into the blood. So that also means that if there's an issue with the thyroid, that it could be releasing too much into the blood, okay? So there can be issues with that as well. And then we have the parathyroid, okay? That lies adjacent to the thyroid, and it acts as an antagonist to calcitonin to increase calcium levels in the blood by stimulating its release from the bones. So I know somebody that kept getting kidney stones over and over and over and over and over and over again, and found out that she had tumors. She had benign tumors on the parathyroid. So they removed those benign tumors, and guess what? No more kidney stones. So at the same time, PTH causes the kidneys to excrete phosphate, which is also released from the breakdown of bone. Okay, the kidneys, intestines, and bones all play a role in maintaining proper blood levels of calcium and phosphate. Isn't it amazing how all of these systems work together, right? All of these systems work together. And actually, I was just talking about the brain spotting lady. I was just talking to her, and she was talking about how, you know, in trauma that affects your nervous system, and you go into sympathetic, and so you're in fight or flight. That's what you were in on the way over here tonight, right? Okay, you're in flight, right? You're trying to get, actually last time you drove over here when that you were. Okay, so she's like driving, she's in a rush, and she wants to get here, and there's all these people in front of her, right? And so she's in sympathetic. And so Michelle was talking about, you know, how most people, of course, with trauma are in that sympathetic. And then I was telling her that what we've learned, and we were talking about in utero, we were talking about a baby in utero, and when a mother experiences trauma or stress of some kind when the baby's in utero. And she was talking about how a lot of these traumas that people are feeling can go all the way back to when that baby was in utero. And then, of course, me being, you know, the iridologist that I am for so many years, all my interest goes to the eyes. And I was telling her that we have found a connection between trauma in utero and the collarette in the iris. And the collarette of the iris is the nerve is where we see the nervous system. And so we found that when a mother experiences trauma, the baby experiences that trauma, and it can affect the eye. Not physically affect the eye in a way that you think it would hurt the eye, but it shows up in the collarette in the eye, and that can affect that baby's nervous system. It's very interesting, very, very interesting. I mean, we're all one piece, right? Very interesting stuff. Okay, kidneys and adrenals. Okay, we're all familiar with the adrenals. They sit on top of the kidneys, right? There are fight or flight glands. They're the ones that, give you the energy to get up in the morning. They're the ones that get kicked when you drink caffeine. Yeah. Okay, so you have adrenal glands are located on the top of the kidneys. Each gland is divided into two parts, the cortex and the medulla. And so when people are very tired, and they, then, if their pupils are really large, when you look at somebody's eyes, if you shine a light in their eyes, their pupils are supposed to contract, get small to protect the retina. If their pupils stay large, then usually we're looking at adrenals. Yeah. So if you know somebody has really big pupils, in kids, it's normal to have large pupils, but not in adults. Sometimes meds can make people have large pupils, and then people will get off the medications, and then the pupils will go back to normal. So it's just all kind of really interesting. Okay, so adrenal glands. The adrenal cortex, which is the outer layer, produces cortical steroid hormones from cholesterol. So cholesterol has a purpose. Among the many cortical steroid hormones produced by the adrenal cortex are the sex hormones, DHEA, cortisone, and aldose. Boy, I can't pronounce these words tonight.
I'm trying to figure out which.
Go ahead, you pronounce it for me.
Second.
Yeah.
Oh, aldosterone.
There you go, aldosterone. Okay, the sex hormones signal development of secondary characteristics such as facial hair and a deeper voice. Okay, DHEA, an intermediate hormone, aids in the production of sex hormones. Kind of makes me, when I was putting this together, I started thinking about what's kind of going on in the world with all of these people who are going through sex changes, right? And having to take medications to change, to suppress their natural who they are, and becoming, male becoming female, female becoming a male. And I know somebody that's going through that. I know a male that's going through the change and becoming a female. And he's changing, right? He's developing breasts, and his hair is going away, and his face is clearing up, and but at the same time, he's getting some other types of side effects that that he doesn't like. And so that's going to go in. It's got to change everything. So I was thinking about that. Okay, cortisone and derivatives help maintain normal blood sugar levels by stimulating formation of carbs from protein and fat through secretion of enzymes from the liver. These also decrease inflammation, help repair damaged tissue, and act as the body's buffer for stress. So when you get a corticosteroid shot in your shoulder because you have pain, that's what your adrenals are supposed to be doing, right? They're supposed to be producing those steroids. Okay, and if the adrenals are burnt out because you've been under tremendous stress for many years, or maybe you've been doing lots of sugar and lots of caffeine, and and burning the candle at both ends, and the adrenals just don't have it anymore. They just don't have it. And so, they can't produce what they need to produce. So you've got to rebuild them, got to rebuild everything. Okay, and here is adrenal gland cortex. Another cortical steroid hormone is aldosterone, which regulates mineral balance within the body by stimulating the absorption of sodium, chloride, and water, and decreasing absorption of potassium by the kidneys. Okay, so it regulates mineral balance. Careful balance of these minerals is vital for proper function of the sodium-potassium pump, which transports molecules into cells, and for conduction of nerve impulses. And we know that many plants produce hormones similar to the corticosteroid hormones, and these are often called phytosteroids in the body. They act similarly lead to the way the corticosteroid hormones function. Of course, it's going to be slower, right? It's going to be slower because they're plants. Here is the medulla oblongata. It is of the adrenal gland. It produces adrenaline and noradrenaline, and these hormones stimulate the sympathetic nervous system in fight or flight. So yours was stimulated all the way over here.
Not as bad as the last.
Not as bad as the last time. Okay.
Okay.
All you have to do is get in the car behind your wheel, and it's boom. That's it. Get behind. Get, you know. Even here in Auburn, there's always somebody here now in Auburn. Okay, so when the body senses stress, whether it's emotional, physical, or environmental, like talking with Michelle today, right? The blood pressure gets elevated, blood sugar increases, heart rate increases, okay, and the blood vessels constrict as a result of the body redistributing its energy in order to deal with the stress. Okay, so simultaneously, functions that are less crucial to survival, like digestion and elimination, they temporarily stop. Okay, they slow down. So when you're under fight or flight and that mountain lion or that leopard is chasing you, you know, then your body goes into sympathetic, goes into fight or flight. And the only thing that's gonna, is the whole focus is to, you know, run, get out, okay, move. And so everything that's not needed slows down. Everything that's not needed slows down. Okay, here's the ovaries. And we all know these are the female sex organs, and they produce estrogen and progesterone. Okay, estrogen maintains and helps develop other female sex organs, stimulates secondary sexual characteristics, stimulates growth of the uterine lining during the first 2 weeks of the menstrual cycle. And progesterone has been called the pregnancy hormone because it prepares the uterus for the fertilized egg during the last 2 weeks of menstruation, and it helps maintain a healthy fetus during pregnancy. So real important that estrogen progesterone balance is very important. Yes, the medulla oblongata is the brain, is part of the brainstem. Okay, testes. This is the male hormone, testosterone, which is produced in the testes. And it's the main male, these are the main male reproductive organs. Okay, testosterone stimulates development of sperm cells in men and maintains and develops male reproductive organs and is responsible for male secondary sexual characteristics. And of course, there's the pancreas. We know about the pancreas. It has to do with blood sugar and enzymes, right? So it's a digestive organ. It also functions as a gland. It does both. It secretes glucagon, which converts glycogen into glucose and insulin, which acts as an antagonist to glucagon to prevent excessive levels of blood glucose. So anybody that you know with hypoglycemia or diabetes, right? Or pre-diabetic, that means it's not working right. Yeah. And so there's things that need to be done for that. And both of these conversions involve enzymes produced by the liver. So the liver's involved, the liver's pretty much involved in everything. I mean, it's little tiny little organs involved in just about everything. So that is what the pancreas looks like. And of course, you already learned about the digestive tract. It also contains hormones, gastrin, secreted in the stomach. It triggers secretion of gastric juices and enzymes in the pancreas. And of course, we've already really talked about stomach acidity, right? It causes the release of secretin in the small intestines, which in turn causes the pancreas to secrete its enzymes and stops the secretion of acid. Okay, and CCK stimulates the gallbladder to secrete bile.
In the middle of the intestine, the large intestine, is that are those lymph nodes kind of surrounded? It almost looks like it's dripping, the yellow part.
Yes, there's lymph nodes.
So the lymph.
Yep, yep, there's lymph nodes all over. Yep. So, you know, first thing for everything, nutrition. Okay, nutrition is really important. If you go online and you look for nutrition for the glandular system, oh my gosh, there are so many things out there. And there really isn't anything specific for quote unquote the entire glandular system. You can find programs to build the adrenals, and you can find programs for the pineal, and you can find programs for the ovaries, and but for the whole glandular system, there really isn't anything specific. Okay. And, but it's important to know that you need minerals and enzymes. Okay. Pancreas needs chromium, prostate needs zinc, thyroid needs iodine. Okay. So each organ needs its own particular minerals, vitamins and minerals. So Dr. Jensen always said, when you eat a salad, eat a rainbow. And that's what that is, kind of, this kind of little representation here of a rainbow. When you have a salad, eat a rainbow, because each food has its own vitamins and minerals, right? And so if you're eating the rainbow, then you're getting all the different vitamins and all the different minerals, cover everything. But if you know anybody that has blood sugar imbalances, let's say you know somebody that's pre-diabetic, okay? Chromium is a mineral that's real good for that. If you know somebody that's having problems with prostate, there's saw palmetto, sure, and lycopene, but are they using zinc? Zinc is really important. If somebody's pre-diabetic, are they looking at their diet, right? I mean, sugar is number one for that. Okay. So are they looking at their diet? Are they drinking soft drinks, eating candy, eating ice cream? What kind of carbs are they eating? What are they doing? Berberine is a really good herb to bring blood sugar down if somebody wants to bring it down, as long as they're willing to work with their diet. And of course, the thyroid, iodine. And good sources of iodine, green onions, pineapple. Those are a couple of really good sources of fish, anything having to do with the ocean. Okay, did you know that the pituitary gland is about the size of a kidney bean? Did you know that giants and midgets are the result of too much or too little growth hormone? And did you know that diabetes mellitus, the most common glandular system disorder, affects between 10 and 20 million people in the United States? I think it's actually higher. But yeah. Okay, so these are some things. If you have 4 more of the following indications, you might want to consider, or tell somebody to consider. Well, maybe don't tell somebody. If you tell them, they won't do it. Suggest somebody consider nutritional aid for their, oh, that's not supposed to say intestinal, that's supposed to say glandular. So you cross that out, put glandular system. Okay, lack of energy, regular consumption of alcohol, frequent mood swings, poor concentration or memory, stressful lifestyle, skin complexion problems, cravings for sweet, salt, or junk foods, too little sleep or restless sleep, hair loss, difficulty maintaining ideal weight, lack of a balanced diet, slow recovery from illness, lack of appetite, unsettled, apprehensive, pressured, more than 2 cups of caffeinated beverages per day, easily irritated or angered, or don't get enough exercise. I don't know about you, but I know lots of people that I can think of just, kind of going through this list myself. I can think of lots of people that, can mark off 4 or more of these things. Cravings for sweets, that's usually in the afternoon. People start getting tired and they go for caffeine, they go for sugar, they get the foggy brain, they start having trouble concentrating, and the body needs sugar for the brain. So you crave sugar. Instead of going for something good, then most people will go for chocolate or something like that, right? Poor concentration or memory, mood swings, could be diet, could be pancreas, right? If somebody has frequent mood swings, that's usually somebody that's blood sugar is going up and down, up and down, up and down. regular consumption of alcohol, lack of energy, difficulty maintaining ideal weight, hair loss, could be thyroid, depending on if they're a closet eater, depends, too little sleep, restless sleep, you're looking at pineal, the possibility, right? And so on and so on. So lots of things to consider. I put this in here for Nature Sunshine people. So, but if you work with another company, anything that works as the glandular system as a whole, okay, will work. It will help balance all of the glandular system. So eat regular meals at regular intervals. Very important to be consistent. If you know anybody that has blood sugar imbalance, whether they're pre-diabetic, diabetic, hypoglycemic, it's really important that they eat every 2 to 3 hours. Really important, keep their blood sugar up, and teach them the good things to eat, right? Eat vegetables, legumes, whole grains, avoid simple sugars, exercise, avoid stress. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So all these things are really important. And if you're going to build your glandular system, if you have an imbalance and you're going to build your glandular system, remember to start with the master gland. Okay, that would be the pituitary. Get in the sun without a hat, 10 minutes every day. Of course, when it's not raining. Stimulate that hypothalamus, do the thymus thump, and feed the pituitary. Get a good supplement that will work on the pituitary, and then work on the other glands alongside it at the same time. Okay, so these are all generic. These are some things, and I'm not going to read each one of these because there's a lot of information here and it'll be very boring. So master gland formula, there again, that is going to be something that will work on the pituitary, that will work if you pick some kind of a master gland formula, see if you can pick something that's going to usually work on all the glands, okay? Pituitary, but it also should work on all the other glands, all right? There's hypoglycemia combinations that help to balance the blood sugar, and then teach people how to eat properly. Teach people how to eat properly and to eat every few hours and make sure that their blood sugar doesn't fall. Licorice root is really good. Any kind of sugar regulating formulas that helps, with the pancreas formulas, hypoglycemia formulas. There's lots on the market, all kinds. So recuperative combinations, and these are adaptogens, so that helps with stress. I talked about adaptogens at the very beginning of this series. Adaptogens help you deal with stress. Okay, nerve calming. So if you have a lot of stress, if you have a lot of stress, you're burning your B vitamins. You need to replace those B vitamins. Hi, Corin. Nice to see you. You need to replace those B vitamins and also support the nervous system. Okay, so B vitamins, vitamin C, all those things. And of course, there are also adaptogens that work, that help with that, to help calm the nerves and help your body deal with the stress. Okay, whatever stress you might have. Okay, nervous fatigue formulas. These are types of formulas that are for people that are nervous, and then it causes them to be really tired. Okay, so nervous and fatigued at the same time. Burnout. People that people that are A-type personality, that just go, and then boom, they burn out. Hi, Jackie.
Good evening. Hi, everyone.
These are people that just keep going and going and going and going and going, and they eventually hit a wall, and that's it. They'll burn out. Okay, or lots of stress, and they have lots of stress. B complex, really important to make sure it's balanced. And then also, I mentioned methylation. If you are, or anybody that has methylation defects, they have MTHFR problems. So they either came out positive for the A1298C, which is the autoimmune defect, or they came out positive for the C677T defect, which has to do with cardio, either one of those or one of each, or maybe two of one, then they need to go to a methylated B. Okay, so they need to go to methylfolate, and they need to go to a methylated B12, which be like a methylcobalamin, right? So they shouldn't take regular folate or regular B12. They need to go to a methylated. Okay, so methylfolate or methylcobalamin. Thyroid activators, if you've got somebody that's got a thyroid that's really sluggish, and and the person is like gaining weight and they're really tired, and they just can't get themselves going, then there's always herbs that help with activating the thyroid. There's a bunch of herbs listed there that can activate the thyroid. Does B12 test low if MTHFR? It can do it can do both. It can test high also. It can test high. So the best thing to do is get checked for MTHFR. And you can do that. You can ask your doctor to get checked for MTHFR. You can ask them. Depends on the doctor. It depends on the hospital. Depends on the group. There's certain doctors that won't do it. There's certain that don't believe in it, don't know what it is. There's certain medical groups that won't do it at all. If you come across that where they won't do it for you and you want it done, you can come back to me and I'm happy to order it for you. You can look at Ulta Labs, ULTA Labs, and you can order through Ulta Labs. So they're an online lab that they work throughout the United States, not in other countries, unfortunately, but throughout the United States. And they can do it. It costs, if you walk into a lab without insurance, it's going to cost you about $500. If your doctor will do it for you, if you have a doctor and they'll do it, then and the insurance will cover it, wonderful. If you do it through Ulta Labs, right now they're charging $189 plus the draw fee, which is like $7, $8. Okay, so that's what you're looking at if you haven't been tested. The doc won't test for T3. Well, you can get the T3 tested through Ulta Lab, okay, or find another lab because you can get it checked. I really don't understand.
Some believe you don't need T3 and some believe you need T3 to go with T3.
Yes, I just don't understand when there are people that won't test things that are needed. I just don't understand it. But methylation, MTHFR is fairly new. And so there are people that don't believe it's necessary or it's not important. But I will tell you that I've been working with methylation for about 1.5 years. I've had 3 clients out of all of my clients over the last 1.5 years that have come out negative. Everybody else has been positive. The 3 that came out negative were all brown eyes like you. So, yeah, all of them. All the blue-eyed people. I've tested all the mixed-eyed people.
Not necessarily.
Yeah. Well, no, it's good. It's good if you're negative.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's good if you're negative. If you're negative, it means the enzymes are functioning properly. Okay, when you're positive, then that means that genetic enzyme that you got from mom or dad, is not functioning as well as it should. So you're not able to methylate. It's genetic. Okay. Okay. So then go ahead.
Is there a certain protocol that you use if somebody is positive for this MTHFR?
Yes, there are protocols for it. So I use homeopathy for it. There are things that can be done for MTHFR to help people methylate. Yes. What I could do is when I send out this video, the link for this video, I can also make a comment in the email saying for those of you that are interested in learning about MTHFR, you can watch this and I'll put it in there. Okay, so you can watch it. I go into it's a whole nother hour presentation where I talk about what methylation is and, the whole thing to explain it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you don't already know about it, or you do and you want to learn maybe something different or something new or more, you're welcome to watch it. Okay.
Now that you're talking about it, I think last year in the symposium, I think you gave a presentation or talked about it.
Mhm.
Now that you're talking about it now I'm recalling.
Yeah,
Uh,
I asked me to give a presentation on methylation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that then.
I
Okay.
did talk about it. I did. Okay. Okay, so there's also thyroid normalizers, right? That just kind of help normalize, balance out the thyroid. 7 keto, that's a really good one. Let's see what else we got in here. I have some pictures of eyes too. Master gland 4. Okay, so that was reproductive glandular systems. Then I have this was metabolism. Those two were metabolism. All right, so this one here is just for the overall reproductive. So master gland formulas, maintenance formulas, okay, monthly maintenance formulas for women to help balance out that menstrual cycle, women that get PMS and have problems with irregular periods, things like that. Wild yam creams, hot flash combinations, women that are having hot flashes. There's things that can be done about that. Soy combinations. You know what? I am not a proponent of soy. I almost didn't even put that on there because it can be an estrogen mimic, and that's the least thing that we need in our diet is estrogen, more estrogen.
What about phytoestrogen? Remember you talked about
Yeah.
something.
I'm
phytosteroid or phyto something. Wouldn't that be a different version of
I,
estrogen?
I'm not a proponent of soy, period.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. So, but I put it in here for anybody that wants to, know that has been used for the glandular system. Okay, then prenatal vitamins, for women that are pregnant. Red raspberry, you guys should know about that, but that's really good for balancing hormones. And then, of course, X-rated formulas. So if you have people that are having problems sexually, couples, there are herbs that can help with that. And men's formulas to help with the prostate, if they have swelling of the prostate, if they have problems where they get up at night and they have to urinate, things like that. There's lots of things that can be done. Okay, so I want to just, every class I wanted to give you just a little teeny bit about iridology. And the glandular system is in purple. And I know it's small, but it's in purple here. And so the first thing to know is if you know anybody and you see their eye, it looks like a flower. So that's going to be somebody that is glandular. Somebody that's they're kind of the way that I look at it is their glands kind of rule them. If you want to, yeah, if that person wants to get stronger or heal their body, they're going to work on the glands. They're going to balance out the glands. Okay, so if their eye looks like a flower, so think of a sunflower. A sunflower, right, has the seeds in the middle and it has all the petals all the way around. Yes. And this kind of looks like a sunflower. It's dark in the kind of brownish in the middle, and it has all of these petals all the way around. So that's a glandular. That would be a glandular. That's you? Oh yeah? Okay, so you're glandular, so then you know. And then this is the enlarged pupil here. This is adrenal fatigue here. This is usually what because when we shine the light into the pupil, it's supposed to contract. And you can see this pupil is pretty big. It's not as big as some. I could have found the picture. I have one where the pupil goes all the way out here to the perimeter. Yeah. And then this is showing pancreas here. But let me, I've got the pictures here. Yeah. So this is the picture here, large, and you can just kind of see the petals that go all the way around like a flower, right? And so that would be kind of like somebody that's very glandular, somebody that's, might be kind of just glandular, need to work on all the glands, moody, and need to work on all the glands. So here, boy, I'm running out of time. Here are some things that can be done for the adrenals. I'm just going to go through this quickly. You'll have to go back and look at these charts. So we've got adrenal stress and adrenal exhaustion. And these are some of the indications for adrenal stress and adrenal exhaustion. And then these are some things that can be done for them, including some essential oils that we put in here. And originally got these charts from Stephen Horn from one of his classes, and then of course have edited them numerous times. So, but that is originally where these charts come from. So this is the large pupil for the adrenals. Adrenal fatigue. This is pancreas. So there's a difference between low blood sugar and high blood sugar, you know, and low blood sugar is usually going to be hypoglycemic. And, you know, usually if they don't eat for a while, they're going to feel sick, kind of have the sick feeling and maybe shake, be grumpy, just really not feel well, and have sugar cravings and fatigue and mood swings. And high blood sugar, well, we know that has to do with type 1, type 2. Okay, thirsty all the time, and medical diagnosis of diabetes and so on. And then these are some things that can be done for this. So just remember, if anybody comes to you that's on meds, you are not allowed to take them off of their meds. Okay, if you're a doctor, you can take them off their meds. But if you're not a doctor, like we're not, you can't take them off their meds. You're really not even supposed to tell them to go off their meds. But if they want to go off their meds, then you know, it's best to work with the doctor, have them go to their doctor. So I've got a lady now that she's coming off one of her meds, and she went to the doctor and she told the doctor, I want to get off these meds, so I'm taking these herbs. And so she's working with me and she's working with the doctor, and the doctor is lowering her meds as the herbs are working. And that's the way it needs to be. You are not legally, unless you are a doctor or maybe in another country, legally here in the United States, we are not, it's not legal for us to do that. Okay, and then you would be liable. So if something happens to that client, I know somebody that died because they got off all of their heart medication. I don't know why they got off all their heart medication, but they were tired of taking it and were trying to go all natural. I don't know. Anyway, he got off all of it and he had a heart attack and he died. Okay, so there's certain medications that you become dependent on. It's not like you can just drop them and say, forget it, you know. And there are a lot of people that want to do that, but they have to understand that you can't. You have to build up those systems before that can even be thought of. And it has to be done with the doctor. It has to be done with the doctor. It has to be in conjunction with. Pancreas, so we see the pancreas with the orange color in the eye. So if you have orange in your eye, that's an indication that there can be blood sugar imbalance in the family. And then also the areas for the pancreas are 2, 4, 8, and 10. So this here is at the pancreas, and we call them reaction fields. So 2, 4, 8, and 10, we have the little arrows. And so there are multiple things that we can see in the eyes to show us that there might be blood sugar imbalances. So, you know, for those of you that are interested in iridology or have taken classes, you know it. For those of you that don't know anything about iridology, you know, you can always learn. This is just kind of a little introducing you. Thyroid, there's hypothyroid, hypothyroid. This is hypothyroid cold. And these are some of the issues that can happen here, some of the indications, and some of the herbs or combinations and some of the oils that can be used for hypothyroid. And this is the thyroid reaction field here, and then this is the breast reaction field here. And so this person has markings in their thyroid reaction field. But in iridology, what we learned is that just because somebody has something showing up in their eyes doesn't mean they have a problem. It may not be activated yet. It may just be genetic. Maybe mom had a problem or dad had a problem or grandma or grandpa, you know, but just because there's a mark in the eye doesn't mean that there's a problem going on right now. Okay, so the next herbal hour is going to be, I'm on time. The next one's going to be on March 6th. Like I said, I'm going to be out of town unavailable for a week, and there's a lot going on. So March 6th from 5 to 6, we're going to go over the nervous system. And I put on here the two things. If you want to just take the herbal hours just for fun, just to learn a little bit, fine. I'm good with that. It's free. If you actually want to get certified, it's $350. And there are quizzes after each herbal hour, and they're easy. They're easy, not a big deal. And then I also put my iridology training here because I know there are people that are interested in iridology. And so I'm actually going to delay that. I have it set for February 13th. I'm going to delay it till March. So, but you know, if that's something that you're interested in, then let me know. We'll talk. Okay. All right. Any questions? Yeah, you had a question? You're muted.
Okay. The and what was it? The androstenedione? Isn't that when men they go on like when because my husband is 61 and he's like acting like he's tired. He's a flower. So he's glandular as well. So I'm like, okay, you're going to the doctor. He's in Texas right now. I say, you're going to the doctor and get your testosterone checked. Because I think he's going through andropause. And I'm like, sir, I'm 51. You're 61. We got to deal with this because it's just like he has no motivation and he's diabetic and he did the Monogero. He's still doing that, but he took the last shot Saturday. So now I guess he's going to the doctor this week to see if he's going to be taken off of that because he has lost all this weight and he's losing his appetite and he's talking about I'm dizzy and I'm so concerned. Like he is scaring me. Like I saved him from COVID and I saved him from septic shock in April. And sometimes he don't listen to his body like I listen to mine, you know. So
Andropause.
yeah,
Yes.
andropause.
Yes, we have menopause and they have andropause.
Yeah, and I'm not none of that. I still have a cycle.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, the body changes, right? And we have to go with the changes and learn. And some of that's going to be genetic, right? Because we all have our genes. We all have our genetic tendencies from mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, right? And he's going to be different than you, right? He's going to have his own set of those genetic tendencies. And like you said, he's diabetic, you know, and so he's got the sugar issue as well that he's got to deal with, right? And then he's obviously, if he's a flower, then he's, you know, it's the glands. So working on the glands, but not just male glands. It's got to start from the pituitary. It's got to start up here.
Yeah, I try to get him to understand the Herring law of healing. It has to start in the head first, and he's so medical, but he got off high blood pressure pills because I had him take 2 products from the Life Force line. And I told him, just stay on it 90 days and see how you like it. I say, but you don't stop taking your medicine. And then when he got sick with sepsis, they were like, you're doing good. You don't need these high blood pressure pills. So he still takes that with the the calcium, magnesium, so all of that combination, and he don't need the high blood pressure pills anymore. So he's like, oh, that does work. I'm like, yeah, but he didn't stop. He just got dwindled down, like what you said the one lady has, and now he don't need it at all. But I told him you still got to keep taking what got you off of it, so he's not being hard-headed about that, but it's this other thing that with that, we're trying to see if he can regulate his own blood sugar once he comes off that shot. That's the experimental.
Well, if you want some help, let me know.
I
He's
will.
open. Yeah, I'm
He's
happy
a
to.
hardball, so he's difficult.
Well, I'm around if he wants help. Yeah, I'm
Thank you.
happy to assist. All right.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? That's it. No other comments, questions, concerns? No? Okay. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this little herbal hour, and I will send out the recording. And yeah, if any questions come up, let me know. If you want me to send you something, send me a text.
Okay.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I hope you all have a great night.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll send
thank
you an
you.
email. All right.
All right.
Thank you. Yep.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you,
Good night.
Brenda.
Welcome.
Night.